Uranus conjunct Mars. Very different vibe shift from a sweet Cancer new moon. So Uranus is going to be in Taurus for a little while longer, and Mars is exiled in Taurus. It kind of like throws a little ash on the flame of Mars a little bit. It kind of just dims the light, but maybe that can be a good thing, making a malefic either less malefic or just ornery, which I think sometimes Mars and Taurus can be. It's like it can't operate how it's used to, so it can spill over in messy ways. So Mars, just as that planet of action and passion and severance and cutting and saying no, it's the malefic of the night sect. It's right there on top of the classically unpredictable and irreverent Uranus. So this is a real wild card. It's just a wild card of energy that it's in Venus's temple of Taurus, so it's not like it's in Aries. It's at least in Taurus, but it is in the bound of Saturn. So maybe there will be some sort of breakthrough in the structure. It's the bound and decan of Saturn, actually. So that energy of breakthrough of traditional structure that we need in order to grow, like cracking the shell so that the bird can be released, sort of a thing. But I won't lie, like this one, I'm weary of a little bit, just because whenever Uranus is involved, it's an unpredictable. You can expect the unexpected, which I hate that just platitude, but this is literally the day for it. And because Mars is involved, it makes me just pause a little bit and make sure that I don't leave my flat iron plugged in on my bathroom. You know what I mean? Like I just being real wary of making sure that my electronics and my fire is safely contained.
I've had some bad experiences recently when Mars and Uranus have been active in my chart.
Yeah.
And talking to each other. So I stay away from candles when they're talking to each other. or I haven't, but I am now staying away from candles.
When I was trying to think of like positive things for this, I wonder, just it being in Taurus, I wonder about and Taurus just feeling like of this world, like human kind of sign. I just wonder, and with the Olympics coming up, I wonder about like setting records, like world records for sports, being that it's Mars too. But yeah, that was just, I think the Olympics don't start until like the 26th or something of July, but yeah, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in terms of human abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. And one other thing to note is it's on Fixed Star Algol, which is known to relate to Medusa. But I've been attending some courses about her and learning more about how she operates in the charts of people and what they've actually experienced. And she's been identified more as a primordial creatrix and to be expressive of the dark feminine side and to like help us tap into that and express it in a healthy way as well. So, if that's one way that we could see that come through at that time, that might be opening up those doors to seeing, particularly in Taurus, with that artistic element like music and art and all those kind of free expressions, that those creators might find that they've got extra inspiration, who knows, but also a way to tap into it ourselves, maybe in a positive way, to actually use the energy and give it that healthy container that we talk about sometimes, that if we know that that's going to be difficult and we know that we're going to stay away from things that might harm us, but actually to use it positively and to tap into that side of the creatrix inside ourselves.
Also, the two rulers of Taurus, Venus is going to be in a square by whole sign house, and the moon is in opposition. And when we think about Mars as being the protector or the defender or the fighter in the Venus temple, we look at the opposition to the moon and the square to Venus, And then, being in the bound of Saturn, which feels more like patriarchal. And so, at least in the US, there are so many boundaries being put on women and what they are allowed to do to treat their bodies and to talk about their bodies and just reproductive health in general. And I wonder if this day is going to be kind of a tipping point where there is some sort of fight that starts to break through of being defenders of, look at, Venus as symbolic of mothers and the moon symbolic of mothers, kind of in opposition and square to that conjunction, at least by whole sign. And then just being in the bound of Saturn that can see that through sextile. I just wonder if that's going to be kind of a theme of just of tension of this point where the fight starts to take form. Like there's a bit more of like actual empowerment and that breakthrough. So I could see that as being, as a woman in America, as a positive thing. So
yeah,
I got fiery even just thinking about it.
Yeah. And when you think about it, Medusa was that woman that, whatever men did, they could not beat her down.
Yeah.
She became the most feared. That there was no way they could control her or stop her. And although it's a tragic story, you wouldn't want to be in that situation, but she still lived on and she's become legendary, and that feminine energy survived in one form or another. It transmuted.
Well, and Venus is in opposition to Pluto, it's been in opposition for a day or two, about 3 days. So that whole time having all those planets engaged in a square, it's like, each fighter in the corner of the ring, but all talking about kind of the same subject.
Yeah. So it's like, you might beat me down here, but I'm going to rise again here.
Or my sisters are going to rise up with me.
Yeah.
Totally going Amazonian right now. Okay.